everyone, my name is Kayla Williams. Today I'll be telling you the story of Jose Gaspar, or as some of you may know him as the pirate Gasparilla. This is a story more intended to older teenagers, high schoolers, as a little bit of history thrown in. This is my story edit, so it's got a little bit of legend, a little bit of history. I think they might really enjoy, especially if you dress up. I hope you'll enjoy. Thanks. Ahoy, mateys. Today we're going to hear the story of Jose Gaspar, the last Caribbean buccaneer, also known as the pirate Gasparilla. Now there's some that'll tell you Gasparilla never existed. There's no historical documents on him anywhere. Don't tell that to the people of Tampa, Florida, though. They have a festival in his name every year. And who but a pirate could be the inspiration for the name of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Now, Jose Gaspar was born in Spain, near Seville, in 1756. He was born to an aristocratic family, and despite his noble upbringing, he was a bit of a rogue. When he was 12, he kidnapped a local girl, and when the authorities finally caught up with him and arrested him, the judge gave him two options: join the Spanish Royal Navy or go to jail. Gaspar chose the sea. Now, if Gaspar really did exist, during this time was when the Spanish Anglo War and the American Revolutionary War was happening. Now, the Spanish were the allies of the Americans during this time, though they did not really agree with the revolution. They were very much scared that the Americans would follow in Great Britain's footsteps and become an empirical power of their own. But they took this opportunity to weaken the British Empire, a little bit of retribution for all their losses during the 7 Years' War. Now, the legend tells that Gaspar rose in the ranks very quickly. He had great tactical skills and was great with weaponry. He was an amazing fighter. He quickly went from lieutenant to captain to admiral, and soon became the naval attaché to the court of Charles III in Spain. This was 1783. He was 27 years old. While at court, Gaspar had many romantic relationships. Many at the same time. Rogue, indeed. This intrigue was very much what Gaspar liked. A little dangerous, a little adventure. But like all games, they come to an end. And so it ended for Gaspar when he publicly jilted the daughter-in-law of the king. Enraged and spiteful, the daughter-in-law plotted with the prime minister to frame Gaspar for stealing the Spanish jewels. As soon as Gaspar heard this, he fled, escaped, commandeered the Spanish vessel, the Florida Blanca, and swore revenge for the treatment from the Spanish officials, and promised to plunder any ship he saw that held the Spanish flag. And so he sailed to the Florida Gulf Coast, where he made his refuge on the island of Charlotte Harbor, where he took up the name Gasparilla, and the pirate was born. 40 years, close to it, went by, and Gasparilla plundered the seas. He was very treacherous. He killed everybody of the ships that he captured, except of course for beautiful women. Those he did for his concubines. But there was one lovely lass, and instead of stealing her, she stole his heart. Her name was Anne Jeffrey. She was an English maiden, and as soon as Gasparilla saw her, he fell madly in love. he finally found the courage to tell her how he felt and propose marriage. Now, she turned him down. She told him that as much as she would like to, you don't turn down a pirate that easily. Her heart actually belonged to a man named Batista, an actual pirate among his crew. This made Gasparilla extremely mad, and his first instinct was to kill them both. He thought better of it, however, as Batista was one of his mates, and the next ship that they captured, an English vessel, he promised to spare her and all her crew if he allowed Anne and Batista to get married on the ship, and they would transport them safely back to England. So even though he was cruel and very ruthless, he did have a bit of a heart of gold deep down underneath. So, nigh on 40 years went by, and Gasparilla and his crew accumulated a ton of treasure. They had wealth, as much as they could wish for. Gasparilla decided to retire. He convinced the rest of his crew as well. They had enough gold to split evenly and live luxuriously for the rest of their lives. They were headed back to where their treasure was hidden on the island when they saw on the horizon an English merchant ship. This was something Gasparilla could not let go. One more time, old time's sakes. Why not? Couldn't hurt. So they sailed forward, hoisting the colors. It was too late. The English flag dropped. The United States flag rose. This was no everyday English mercantile ship. It was in fact the U.S. Navy warship, the USS Enterprise. The cannon shot. The Florida Blanca was under siege. Gasparilla was not going down like that. He ran to the bow of his ship and said, "Gasparilla takes his own life. You cannot have him." And he takes the anchor, the chain of it, wraps it around his waist, cutlass still in the air, and plummets into the black water, taking his own life. The rest of his crew, likely captured, were killed. Those that were captured were taken to New Orleans and tried as pirates and hanged. Was Gasparilla real? Was he not? Who knows? Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.